All right, so you're looking for a dog trainer in Richmond. You've come to the right place. We're going to walk through exactly how to find the right pro so you and your pup can really enjoy everything the city has to offer. I mean, that's the goal, right? Picture it. A nice, calm stroll along the canal walk, no pulling. Or maybe you're in Carytown, you bump into a friend, and your dog just sits there politely. That's what good training does. It just makes all those little moments so much better. So here's our game plan. First, we'll touch on why training in a city like Richmond is a bit different. Then we'll go through 3 simple steps for finding a trainer. And we'll finish up with some great local resources you can use. Okay, first things first. Why does training matter so much here in RVA? Let's talk about thriving with your dog in the city. Richmond is a fantastic city for dogs, but it's a lot. There's so much going on. You've got packed sidewalks and the fan, all the tempting smells on those restaurant patios in Scott's Addition, not to mention bikes and scooters zipping by. Good training is really about helping your dog navigate all that stuff confidently without getting overwhelmed or stressed out. All right, let's get practical. Step 1 is all about figuring out your specific goals. What do you actually need from a trainer? So, before you even start Googling trainers, take a second and think, what are the 1 or 2 behaviors that, if they got better, would just make your life easier? Get really specific. And here are some of the usual suspects, right? Leash pulling down Monument Avenue. Sound familiar? Or maybe it's the jumping when people visit your apartment. Whatever it is, zeroing in on your biggest headache is key because it helps you find a trainer who's an expert in that exact thing. Okay, now for step 2. Let's look at the different types of training out there so you can find the right format for you and your dog. So, the 2 big ones you'll see are in-home training and group classes. In-home is perfect for those at-home problems, barking at the delivery guy or getting too excited at the front door. On the other hand, group classes are fantastic for practicing focus when other dogs and people are around. It's like a practice run before you hit a busy spot like Bird Park. Of course, there are a few other options. Private lessons offer a plan that's 100% tailored to you. Day training is where the trainer works with your dog during the day, which can speed things up. And then there's board and train. That's a more intensive, immersive option. Just make sure if you go that route, they include really good sessions to teach you how to keep up the training. And now for step 3, which is probably the most important part. How do you actually choose a good professional trainer? It really comes down to 3 things. First, look for someone who uses positive methods. Second, check their credentials. And third, know what questions to ask. Okay, let's talk about training methods for a sec. The gold standard today is positive reinforcement. All that means is using rewards, like a treat or praise, to encourage the behaviors you want. It's not just about being nice, it's incredibly effective, and it builds a really solid bond of trust with your dog. Next, let's talk credentials. This is a big one because, believe it or not, the dog training world isn't regulated. Anyone can call themselves a trainer. So looking for certifications shows that a person has put in the work and is committed to their education. For everyday stuff, something like a CPD-TK is great. If you're dealing with more serious issues like major anxiety or aggression, you'll want to look for a specialist with a credential like CBCCK. So when you actually start talking to trainers, you want to be prepared. Definitely ask about their methods, of course, but also ask something specific, like, how would you customize a plan for our lifestyle here in Richmond? And for sure, get all the details on how they measure progress and what the total costs are, including any travel fees. No one likes surprises there. And speaking of cost, what should you actually expect to pay here in Richmond? Okay, so here's a look at the average costs for 2025 in the Richmond area. You can see a group puppy class, which usually runs for a few weeks, is typically in that $160 to $290 range. A single private lesson is going to be somewhere between $120 and $200. And then you get to board and train. Yeah, that's a much bigger investment. This should give you a pretty good ballpark for budgeting. All right, so you've found a trainer, you're doing the work, now what? It's time to put that training into practice. Let's talk about some great Richmond spots and a few local rules. And we've got some awesome places to do just that. The fenced-in dog parks like Barker Field or the one at Chimborazo Park are perfect for working on recall. Come in a safe space. Then for leash skills, the trails over at Belle Isle or Texas Beach are fantastic for practicing with all those real-world distractions. And just to be a good RVA neighbor, there are a few local rules to keep in mind. You do need to use a standard 6-foot leash in public areas. No retractables. Also, all dogs in the city have to be licensed every year. And this is a big one for city living. Just be aware of excessive barking, because that can be a noise violation. I think this really sums it all up. It's that mix of planning ahead, using humane methods, and then just being consistent with practice. That's what helps your dog become that well-behaved, confident companion you want them to be. Because at the end of the day, having a well-trained dog just makes life better, doesn't it? It means you can have a quiet evening at home without any chaos. It means you can actually enjoy running into neighbors in Churchill. And it means you can feel good about visiting friends anywhere in the city with your pup in tow. I hope this helps, and I wish you the best of luck with your training.